Thomas Roberts here at MSNBC World Headquarters in New York and Puerto Rico recovery. This is new video coming in from San Juan today. We know that the president is taking time away from the White House. He is in his golf resort, Bedminster, New Jersey, for the weekend. We have heard from him tweeting. It was earlier today. He spoke, though, to the governors in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, putting out praise that he says that the administration has received from both leaders. And this is coming just hours after he fired off a series of tweets attacking the mayor of San Juan for, quote, not being able to get her workers to help. That was a sharp rebuke in response to the mayor's pleas for federal aid. Take a look.
We are dying, and you are killing us with the inefficiency and the bureaucracy. I am done being polite. I am done being politically correct. I am mad as hell because my people's lives are at stake.
So joining me now on the phone is Congressman Luis Gutierrez of Illinois. And sir, when we know what's going on with the federal reaction or lack thereof, as a politician and also someone that has deep roots in Puerto Rico, explain what you've done to try and help the people to answer the mayor's call.
Number one, there has been so much. Let me just put it to you this way. I went to Comerío, Puerto Rico today, and I saw workers, Puerto Ricans, who have been working for days on end with barely any sleep. I saw people wake up this morning and try to take mud and debris out of their homes to begin to reconstruct their lives with no water, with no food, but still trying. I've met doctors and nurses, police officers. I've met members of the armed forces of Puerto Rican descent who left their families in the United States, the safety and certainty of their families in the United States, and have volunteered to come here. These are the people that are volunteering, but they don't have the resources. And to call them lazy, to call them irresponsible, to say that they won't pick themselves up by their own bootstraps is just a lie. It's irresponsible and repugnant. The people of Puerto Rico don't need people to blame them for this tragedy and for this hurricane when they are doing everything within their power. There is no water. There is no electricity. People are in dire need. And let me just say thank you. I want to thank the thousands of members of FEMA that have come from the United States to work. They, too, work without rest. People are working here, Mr. President, and they need you to come here and show leadership. Instead of attacking people, come and help us. Stop attacking and stop holding us responsible. I know you want to make one Puerto Rican the good person and the other one the bad person. They're all patriots. They're all trying to help, and they all have different methods in which to express it. You should receive them all equally.
Sir, when we think about what you've seen today, we can hear the emotion in your voice. With going back to speak to colleagues now in D.C., what do you want to tell them as an eyewitness to what you've seen and also what you've done?
I want to tell them I did a flyover, Utuado, Puerto Rico. There are people who cannot get out of their homes. There are bridges that have been washed away. They're not there. Roads that have been washed away. There are people that are isolated. And I saw brave men and women rescuing them. I'm so proud of all of those first responders here in Puerto Rico and from the United States that are helping. But we need more. The response has been not the one that is needed here on the island of Puerto Rico. There is just not water. And when you hear somebody crying out for help, you help them. You help them. When you see somebody down and saying there are people dying in Puerto Rico, you will see the result of a lack of inefficiency and inaction on the part of the federal government. But at the same hand, I also saw so many people, the bureaucracy and the tying up of hands. There should be all hands on. The President of the United States should have been here already, 10 days into this tragedy, and he's out in a resort, and he has the gall and the temerity to say that we're lazy. Where are you working, Mr. President? Where are you today? Why aren't you here personally seeing what's going on? You have Air Force One. You have all the comfort that we as American citizens provide you as the President of the United States. Come here, become a little uncomfortable, roll your sleeves up, and give us a hand instead of slapping us down.
Congressman, we've gotten tweets today from the President talking about the fact that he and the First Lady will visit Puerto Rico on Tuesday, also hoping to make a stop in the U.S. Virgin Islands. But a tweet that we got 3 hours ago was saying, despite the fake news media, in conjunction with the Dems, an amazing job is being done in Puerto Rico. Great people. We do know that the Comfort, the naval vessel that is a surgical medical hospital, is en route there, leaving Norfolk, Virginia, just the other day. It should arrive by Tuesday. When we think about staged assets that are needed to be in place, knowing that a storm like this could devastate the territory of Puerto Rico that hasn't suffered a storm like this in some 90 years, is there a defense for why there wasn't a better plan of staged assets in place, considering we did have heavy damage in Texas and Florida?
Let me just say this. I want to make it clear. I'm very proud of the men and women of FEMA that are here. I know that they too go without sleep. I see the tears in their eyes. I see the anguish in their faces as they are doing everything they can and knowing that it's not enough. So let's just set that aside for one thing. On the other level, look, Monday before Maria struck Puerto Rico, already in Chicago, there was a mobilization. If the people of Chicago, if the people of New York, if the Puerto Rican diaspora from across the United States was preparing days before Maria got here and was able to bring resources within hours of the hurricane hitting, yes, hitting the island of Puerto Rico, why wasn't the federal government ready? Is there no plan in place for the people of Puerto Rico when it meets a tragedy? And I have to tell you, the memory that is here that I know in everybody's mind of Katrina just comes back. I remember seeing thousands of Americans for day in and day out just stuck in that football stadium one day after another. Don't repeat the same mistake again. People died because of a lack of action and prioritization of our federal government. Let's do it again. And let me just say, I wish all of you could come here. I wish there were videos that you could see people cleaning out their homes with nothing, just to see the mud and the debris that is filled with the rivers that have overflown, seeing people who are trapped and see people risking their lives to rescue them. And the president saying that they want everything handed to them. No, Mr. President, people are working. Come here and see. Quiet down your Twitter and open up your heart to the people of Puerto Rico.
Congressman Gutierrez, thank you, sir. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And I know a lot of people were probably very grateful to see you today arriving with some supplies. And I know that FEMA and the military are grateful for your kind words as well. Again, the president is scheduled to go to Puerto Rico next week. The expectation is to arrive for a visit and also to the U.S. Virgin Islands on Tuesday, October the 3rd. It was earlier where the governor of Puerto Rico talked about the progress or lack thereof being made in the island territory. So far, 714 gas stations are operational out of 1,100. FEMA is saying they'll be receiving 230 containers of food and water to distribute to municipalities. 41 hospitals are now open. Most of them are relying on diesel.